Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Friday to you. Welcome to the family room.
Yes, TGIF. It is so good to be with you all live today. Last week was pre-recorded.
Yeah.
Pastor John F. Ramsey Sr., myself, First Lady Alicia Ramsey here in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Yeah, we're glad you're with us. We've been doing this ever since we started, ever since the pandemic
Yes.
started, and we've really enjoyed it. And I want to tell you one of the reasons why we enjoy it so much is because this has been the only platform that gives us the ability to not just minister to our people, but to engage with them.
Yes.
Where you can ask questions, we can give feedback, and do the best we can to really kind of speak into your life, pour into your life, and it's a great time. We have a lot of fun too, don't you think?
We do. So we're getting everyone coming in, and we want you to share. So invite somebody with you. So you may be at home, you may be on virtual learning with your children, you may have your job at home, you may be in a location. But we want to say good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday. Jackie's on, Jatana,
There
Taiwan,
it is.
Aya, D. Look at it. We're excited because
Keep your eye on the road, Ty, because I know
yes,
he's driving. He's driving for his company.
the family room is back. And as we get ready for the holiday season, we want to make sure that you're prepared for the holiday season. So this month we are going to be sharing a lot with finances,
Absolutely.
and also to go along with your new book, share with them as we're watching people on about your new book.
The new book that we're excited about is called Money Before Marriage. And I really believe the Lord gave me that title because the number one reason that's listed for divorce decrees all across the country is something to do that's financially oriented, and and that's above infidelity or anything else. So it's a major subject, and
Yeah.
if we can get our money straight, we go into marriage, you're going to give that marriage a lot better chance of going the distance.
And so tell me why did you do this book? Because you've had, what was some of your other books? Smart Money Management, One Night Stand.
When I stand, yeah.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. You've had several books over the years, and you've
Right.
had different topics that you've liked, but it's something about finances.
Well, you know, John Rizzo Ministry in the church has really always been founded on basically three principles: faith, family, and finances.
Finances.
Those are the areas that I know that God has given me a mandate to teach on. Now, do
Yes.
we teach on other subjects? Absolutely.
Yes.
But that's the primary driver for us. And so I think the timing of it was perfect too. It's not the only finance book, obviously,
Right.
but I'm just very passionate about it. I think that we put a lot of time and a lot of work into this, and I just hope that people grab a hold of it and that they find something in it that's a blessing to them. And so far, we're getting some good feedback, and we're gonna keep pushing with it.
Yeah, the book is available on Amazon.com for you to purchase. And the thing that we are so blessed to be able to say is that we believe in living the abundant life and living by faith. One of your key principles for us living the abundant life is a debt-free life. And because you've always practiced living debt-free, here we are. Oh, my earring fell off.
You good.
So here we are in the middle of a pandemic, and the blessing is, our facilities are paid off.
Yeah.
Things that we own, vehicles, things are paid off, so we don't have that stress or pressure on the ministry right now.
I think it's probably not a week, very few weeks went by that I didn't always have a congregation repeat that we will be debt free.
We will be debt free.
We will be debt free. And to be honest with you, in light of a pandemic, if we weren't, there'd be a real problem because
definitely
with buildings like that, it's going to take $1 million or $2 million a year just to maintain them. Yes. If they're paid off. Yes. So to not be in that predicament can be a real challenge, and I think it speaks towards planning ahead. And I think that everything we do with money, again, is not because we're perfect with it. We're not. Right. I've made plenty of mistakes with it, but one thing we've always believed in, I've always believed in, and that is planning ahead. I think you mentioned last week, I had a Christmas account when I didn't even have a family, right, children or anything, right, and I would just throw a few dollars in there when I got it. That when that Christmas came around, my mother and my father, I could get them a little something and it not really affect what I'm doing that particular week.
Right, absolutely. Thank you for those of you that are joining us on this Friday in the family room. We call you our family room friends.
Yes.
My name is First Lady Alicia Ramsey. This is my husband, Pastor John F. Ramsey Sr. We are here in Indianapolis, Indiana. So if you are somewhere else throughout the country, make sure you put it in a thread so we can give you a shout out. And during our topic today, as we said last week, since last week was pre-recorded, we encourage many of you to ask questions. Now, my fault, I did not get a chance to write those questions down that they asked last week.
Okay.
I think when I kept trying to finish watching it, Jeremiah something happened.
We had a lot going on
I
last
just
week
had
too.
so much going on. The kids kept interrupting me when I was trying to get that written down. But if you do have questions, please write them down, put them in the thread so that we can answer those questions. Yes, Jatana's hanging out in Boston, giving her a shout out. You guys have snow yet? I know Cleveland has snow.
Yes, so remember I was up there for the funeral.
Yes,
and I couldn't believe it because when I got into Cleveland, I was like, I was not expecting this.
And it was serious snow.
It was serious snow.
It was serious snow there. So tell us what we're going to talk about today. Hello, Minister Lou. Hello. It is great to see you. Look, are they on you already about your drink? What you got? I see.
Gatorade, baby.
Listen, I see Pastor.
Nothing but Gatorade.
Wait a minute. I see Pastor is being transparent about what he is drinking this week. So what you got going on?
Yeah, Gatorade. This is very healthy for you. Why you gotta put my business on the street like that? Now, y'all, we get ready to fight because she just put my business on the street like that. I had my little drink. I had it concealed and everything. I was good to go. But I do have my Gatorade.
Oh, Lord, help my man. Help my man. Help my man.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, it said, did the sound go out? Did we lose our sound? Let me see if we... Oh, no, we got it. Okay, good. Good.
Yeah,
We still got it. We missed you too, Marvin. We missed you too, Jackie. Hello, Kimberly Johnson. I know Pastor is funny, isn't he, girl? Because you know what? There's something about marriage. Okay, you really learn how to pick your battles. He's the same way with me. You know.
Can you get you to say that again?
You learn to pick your battles. So thing with him and him and his soda. So I'll try little things like he asked me, he said, we don't have no Coke in the house. I was like, no. He said, we don't have no Pepsi. Now I had Pepsi for Jeremiah, but it was Diet Pepsi.
I think she threw my stuff out, y'all.
No, so I noticed what he was trying to say because I was like ordering Instacart. Man, I had Sam's Club coming, I had Target coming. So he saw all these groceries and all this stuff coming in the house, but it wasn't no soda. So lo and behold, I was putting something in that karaoke cabinet over there. I see it's full of Pepsi. I was like, where is Pepsi over here? I was like, oh, okay. He didn't want me to know that he went.
Yeah, I went and got a stash.
You got a stash.
I went and got a stash. You know, I had to do what I had to do.
And I'm going, why is it over here? But I had to laugh.
Oh, my God.
I didn't even say that to you. I just laughed. I said, okay. He's like, okay, she ain't going to buy me none. I'm by my own.
Right. I had a little stash on the side. They don't want to help you. You got to help yourself.
Yes,
But hey, can I talk about my excitement though?
Yes.
Everybody, we have achieved. Judah did our little video clip we did the other night.
Yes.
We've hit 1,000 subscribers.
1,000.
And I'm excited about that. Now, for those of you that are watching it now, I do want to tell you one of the reasons why I'm going to be encouraging you to go to the YouTube page to watch this live is because I'm starting to accumulate links. Like a lot of the people we talk about, Dave Ramsey, Clark Howard, the Dave Ramsey app.
So you're putting all this on YouTube?
It's there right now.
Okay.
There right now. And they got another one called Nerd Wallet. But you'd be amazed. You go on that website, you'd be amazed where they can show you the best interest rates for this and for that.
Yeah, that's great.
How to
so
reduce
if you
debt.
go to his YouTube channel, you can get the links to some of these resources we've been talking about.
So now we're streaming this to YouTube live every week as well. But when you watch it on that, you get access to the links that are there. And my goal is to try to add something, but not just to put things there to put them there, but to put things there that will be meaningful for you. So it can be one-stop shopping. You keep it moving, get things that help you move forward.
Yeah.
And I do like the subscriptions too.
I know. Wait a minute. Jessica Cunningham said, "Congratulations, Pastor. He is geeked." He's excited. I can't be mad at him because he has these technology goals, and as he's achieving these goals, I'm happy he's achieving. I'm happy for you.
Hey, you look it. She look real happy, don't she? But no, you know, today's subject, like one of the things I do appreciate, like about YouTube, Facebook, and all of that, is I'm starting to learn a little bit about analytics and different things like that. I'm never going to go real deep in that because that's not my realm. But I was looking through some that they sent me the other day.
Okay.
And they spoke about how much activity we had talking about finances right now during this time.
Okay, so Pastor went and looked to see how much interaction we had with our page with this topic.
Yeah, and you can, and one of the things we want you guys to do as well, obviously we can't cover every subject, and every subject we're not experts at, but leave your information on the YouTube. You can now put the comments on there. Hey, Pastor, you guys will ever do a session on life insurance, or do a session on in-laws, or do a session on adopting, parents adopting children and raising them up. Any of those things, we'll pull from some of that to put lessons together to deal with those subjects.
Yes, definitely, definitely. So today we are talking about finances, especially in a time such as this. And I'm trying to stay focused here on the topic because you know
you put me out on, you put my business out on speaker.
Because I want us to be truthful and transparent. So Lauren said he's being transparent today. He's showing his Gatorade,
and she was right. I got transparent Gatorade right here.
And then, okay, we're gonna get on the topic, but then I buy, Gatorade Zero because it's better for Jeremiah. And they just went off about Gatorade Zero. Oh, this is nasty. Jeremiah just drinking it. He's cool, but
yeah, Jay gonna come around though. Watch, after a while, he gonna be looking at you crazy.
It's good for his shit. He can't have his sugar though.
Yeah, it is good for him.
All right, you ready to get on this topic?
I'm ready to get on this topic.
Y'all ready to save some money? You ready to learn how to do better with your finances? I hope so. Take some notes, go back and look at it, share, invite somebody, tag them on it. Say, hey, you need to listen to Pastor and Lady Ramsey as they talk about finances. And his book is out on Amazon.com. Money Before Marriage.
You gotta go get it.
Marry and still get the book. Jatana said she bought 4 copies of the book. And then also make sure you write a review for him.
Yes, on that's big.
Amazon. Write the reviews.
This time around, if you get the book, we need you to do a review. That's really going to help. What it does is it positions the book, and I guess you could say with all the others that are in that particular area of topic.
Yes.
And it gives it a push. It makes it available to more people. So listen, let's get it out there.
Yes, definitely. Okay, honey.
All right, we're going to jump into this thing today, and we're talking about money management during challenging times.
Okay, that's a good topic.
What are things that we should? How do we handle our money? How do we manage things when things get tight?
Yes.
And so I want to give you a couple of scriptures, and then we can kind of dive in. And again, last week was pre-recorded, so if you guys have questions, we really have designed this time around today to be able to respond to a lot of those questions.
Definitely.
So feel free to jump in, throw them out there. We'll give you answers as best we possibly can. But I want to launch it again with this verse. Proverbs 21, verse number 20 says, "There is treasure to be desired and oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man spendeth it up."
It's good.
Powerful. And I think it says it all. It says to me that in order to reach some level of financial stability, that I've got to have wisdom in that area.
Yes.
Wisdom is not the same as knowledge. And I think that people get that confused.
Right, and tell them the difference.
The knowledge is the acquisition of facts and information. Wisdom is the ability to implement those facts in the right context to get good results. And
that's real good.
Because a person has knowledge does not mean that they have wisdom. And many times you can spot that in their decision making. And even in finances, it can be the same way. One of the stats we gave a couple of weeks ago, I got from Dave Ramsey's website, and then I went and looked at some other places, and their stats were right around the same. And it said that right now, last year, in about the season that we're in right now, the time that we're in right now, December, there's about 78% of people in America that are living from paycheck to paycheck. Now, here's what blew me away about that stat. What blew me away about it is that it was for 50,000 and up.
So they're making 50,000.
They're making 50,000 or better.
Okay.
But then they also have some stats in here for families making $150,000 a year combined. There are still an enormous amount of them that are living from paycheck to paycheck.
Wow. So that's what you're talking about. It doesn't matter the amount of money that you make. Some people feel like I can't save money until I make more money, or I can't purchase a home until I make more money.
Yeah.
I can't save for my child's college unless I make more money, and that's not true.
It's not true at all, because when it comes to money management, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. Mm-hmm. And there are so many people that live their life thinking that, you know, they pray, they give to God, they come and they worship at church and all of that. But you can be a tither, but it doesn't mean you're going to have any money.
That's right.
Because what are we giving God? We're giving him 10% of the top, off the top of the gross income, in addition to offerings. Got 90 left over.
Yes.
So we still got to be responsible for that. We can't say, okay, let me just go do anything with this 90, anything I feel like doing with my 90 because I'm a tither. There's no provision in the scripture that says that God's going to make up for the deficits if you make foolish decisions with your money.
And that's what you're talking about, the bad decision making and knowledge versus wisdom. And the thing about it with you, as you were saying earlier with the Christmas account, you started practicing this early, and you did not use the excuse that, well, my dad didn't teach me that, my mom didn't teach me that. Yes, your parents were excellent parents and did a wonderful job taking care of you and your siblings, but you sought this knowledge on your own.
I did. I was in college reading this because I knew what it was like to be broke.
Yes, Lord, me too.
And I made up in my mind when I was in college. I mean, I was several years before I even got out of college. There is no way I can live my life like this. I had a full scholarship at a major university where pretty much whatever I need
is a bougie university.
Yeah, it was. But pretty much whatever I needed was covered because it was a full scholarship. Yeah. But I was broke. Yeah. And I reached a point where I was like, you know, this is not the way this thing is supposed to be. Yeah. And it's not going to be like this always. And I think that so many people, they misjudge other people because you see them where you think they are. Let me put it that way. But you have no clue how they got there and how many years it took them to get there. Right. And so it's just really important. I mean, to me, being broke left a bad taste in my mouth. Yeah. And I was like, you know, I cannot, whether I'm single for a lot of years or whatever the case might be, I cannot be like this. I cannot be in this predicament. Right. And that's where I started reading about it.
And that's one of the reasons why I fell in love with him, was because he was a man with a plan. People that know our story, we didn't date long. And I always had a vision and plan for my life. Like I didn't want to be broke. I wanted to own a home and have all these things that I could achieve in life. And to, you know, God to bring me to someone who just had a plan. I was so engulfed in his plan. I wish I could have saw my own face while he was laying it out on the first date. May I say the first date? He gave me his whole plan, and it encompassed everything in your life. And do you know, it wasn't even about ministry in the church? Yeah. When you think about it, because that probably would have scared me off too.
It was about life and family.
That would have probably ran me off. But the fact that you were just talking about your life, what you wanted out of life, how you were going to achieve these things out of life. And you've always had that mindset. Yeah. And the thing that I love about you now is that you try to instill that mindset in our congregation, and, you know, pastors that you mentor, and, you know, my brothers, you know, they tell me all the time, Lish, I remember what John said a long time ago. Yeah. And they practice those principles.
Yeah. Well, no, I appreciate that. And it's just something that I got a real conviction about. Again, it doesn't mean I'm perfect with this area, but if you want to accomplish something in life, you can't do it without a plan. And when you talked about me having that plan right out of the gate, I was always nerdy like that. So
that wasn't like nerdy though.
But, well, yeah, it wasn't. But the thing about it is that I want to kind of say at this point is simply this. You can tell a lot about a person when you first date them based on what they don't talk about.
Did you hear that?
That's why that was important.
You need to give yourself a hand clap off of that comment.
Yeah, I still got to get my remote together.
Go ahead, and yeah.
Oh, that was the wrong one. That was the wrong one. My bad, y'all. My bad. I got my little screen deck. Hey, y'all, screen deck is coming. I'm telling you.
So what he was saying,
I just got a program. I ain't had time to program it. That's all. That's right. I got to take that one. I don't know what happened with that.
But you have to say that again about dating, because they need to know.
Well, I was sitting here listening to you talking about what made you fall in love with me, and the fact that I had a plan and you were just kind of engulfed in the fact that somebody could just kind of lay out a life mission, what they want their life to look like. And I was saying that I really believe the reason why I did that, I didn't tell you this, but the reason why I did that is because you can tell a lot about a person by what they don't talk about. You know, I wasn't coming in there telling my girl, you looking so good, you know, and this, I mean, now all that was true, but I also wanted to know.
You didn't. Maybe that's what it was too. It wasn't about,
Yeah.
Oh, this, you didn't do any of that.
Mm-mm.
I think that intrigued me as well.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah,
that was good.
Now she been struck by Big Daddy. She got the Big Daddy. No, I'm just joking. But no, I appreciate all the nice things you said.
No, but it's true though. As we're sitting here talking about it, is what's important on that initial, contact. What you talk about.
Yeah.
That initial
and
date.
If you think about a lot of relationships that go left, what do they talk about initially? Girl, you're looking fine in this.
I know it's all about the physical, and I wish I could truly get I all the counseling appointments I did. Everything's about, I'm trying to get them off of that.
Yeah.
You got to get off of that.
But you can't get off of that until you get self-esteem. Until you get to a point where you realize that your value, not in how you're built and what you put on that body that's built.
Right.
But your value is in who you are as a person and your life mission and where you're going in life. Because I don't care how fine she is and how sharp he is, they are not going to be together if they don't have a plan. The Bible says two can't walk together unless they be in agreement. There's got to be a plan. Right.
Here's a question from Nia. Man, I got to go to the eye doctor because since this pandemic, my eyes have gotten worse.
Trust me, I'm with you.
Jesus. Here we go. Hello, Pastor and First Lady. What is it a realistic timeline to once you start these principles to see the results? For those of us who didn't think about this when we were young. That's a good question, Nia.
I think the time is right now. And here's what I want to encourage somebody out there that watching this. It's never too late. I don't care what anybody tells you.
Never.
It's never too late to start developing a solid financial plan and taking some steps in the right direction. A lady came to me one time right before COVID came. It was after service. I finished up the third service. And she said to me, Pastor, she said, you know what? I'm really trying to implement these things you've been talking about and teaching about lately. She said, but my daughter's like a sophomore in high school. Should I get a 529? I said, absolutely.
Yeah.
I said, you know why? Because when she gets ready to go, when she's a senior, based on what you're able to put in there, you may not be able to pay for all of her college. But what if you're able to pay for 4 years worth of books?
Right.
You still saved her a lot of debt.
Right.
And I think that so many people, especially in our culture, they get this all or nothing mentality.
That's true.
Well, if I can't do that, if I can't get my kid, well, shoot, I might as well go on this vacation and go to Switzerland and those types of things. And you can accomplish all those things. Right. But you got to accomplish them the right way.
Right. Accomplish them the right way. And then by faith, believe that God is going to honor faithfulness.
Yes. Yeah.
And then, too, it's amazing what we do with extra money. Yeah. So say, that someone gets back more on their income tax or they get this extra money they weren't expecting.
That's good right there.
Instead of them investing it, or we find a way, now I can buy a new television or I can buy a new this, instead of, taking that and putting it towards these things that you're talking about.
And what you're saying is so true. Because what I think that sometimes people don't always consider is that the issue, people that have money, like friends that I know that got serious money.
Yes.
They don't spend a lot of time thinking about it. It's like they're not sitting around thinking, okay, man, next week, I got another 10 grand coming in. I could do it. I never really hear them talk like that.
Right.
Because they think long term and they're fine. And I think until we develop the ability to think long term and how we view money is going to be a little bit challenging for us to get anywhere significantly and develop some stability. And I'm going to tell you something. Few things can kill your marriage and your family quicker than mismanaged money.
Yeah.
Few things. Yeah. And money secrets and hiding money. And there's an account that he didn't know that she has and vice versa. And he shows her these accounts over here, but he doesn't show her these. All those kinds of things. Listen, you can't build a plan without the information.
That's true.
And so you got to have that openness in the relationship.
Okay. So here we go. Angel. Hi, Angel. It says, what about when both parties have the same end goal for finances, but the plan is very different based on our past experience? This can be, can cause challenges within the relationship.
No question about it. It can, but that also, and I think you're asking that question because you've already picked up on it. the very fact that you guys have an end goal in mind, but the way to get there, you're not in agreement on that, means there's going to be a lot of friction. There's going to be a challenge getting to that point. And but that's the power then. If both parties are Christians, that's the power.
That's
because when you're a Christian, like I don't agree with maybe something she wants to do.
Right, right.
She doesn't agree over here, back and forth.
Right.
But covenant, the covenant of marriage, think about this. If we keep distance in our relationships, all we're going to focus on is the things about the other person that we don't agree with.
Right.
But we understand the power of marriage is a covenant, God said. Then when we come together in covenant, what does it do? It eliminates weaknesses.
Right.
So I would say in a situation like that both parties got to really commit themselves to prayer because somebody's missing God, or maybe there's a combination of both, so that we can come back together and come with a plan that everybody can agree with.
And that's where it truly can change when you are both Christians. I know when we first got married, Pastor was about saving every single dime we had, like every single dime. So, you know, we didn't do vacations. We didn't do a lot of things because he was save. And there were times where I wanted us to be able to do things and kind of live. And I didn't complain about it, but I prayed about it. Yeah. And, you know, God gave him the revelation, or maybe God sent someone his way.
He did.
To give him that
revelation. It was a combination of both.
So I didn't have to, but I knew, you know, we could do more.
Yeah.
But I had to, you know, let him know that I appreciated him, you know, being so diligent in our finances and saving everything. But yet we were on that same allowance for so many years.
But let me tell you what I learned from that.
What?
What I learned is that being cheap is not being a good steward. Okay. And I can't tell you how many times I've said this to people here in the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. Some people think that being cheap is being a good steward. No, being cheap is being in fear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Being cheap is being in fear.
Yeah.
And so I think that, I was a good steward, but I also think there was some fear factors there. Mm-hmm. You know, when you struggle for a long time, you just don't, you know, sometimes you just don't know. And then even though I'm a pastor and all that type of thing, I'm a work in progress too. So I'm growing in that area. Mm-hmm. And I think I was so happy that you took that approach versus us just having throwdowns and arguments and all that type of thing. Yeah. I'm so glad you took that approach because the prayer made a difference. But then also other people speaking into my life that was on a level that I wasn't also made a difference.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Marvin has something to share. And I know you're going to have something to say about this. So, Pastor, our car needed repairs. And I took it to 2 dealerships. They both said it would take at least $10,000 to fix it. We really didn't want to purchase a new vehicle. We went to trade our car off. They gave us $8,000. We pulled $6,500 from our 409k plan. We got a 2019 27,000 miles for under plus extended warranty. So what do you feel about that? I guess even for people pulling from their retirements.
Let me tell you how timely that is. When I originally put some notes together, you know, every week we try to put some notes together so we can kind of feed off of those and go together and speak to them. When I put these notes together for this session, the first things I wanted to give you guys, the first 5 things, number 1 was, it was a list of what not to do with your money.
Right here is the list.
And number 1 was never cash out your retirements. Because here's what I've learned over the years. And again, you guys, I don't have all the answers on this, but what I've learned is very few people that I've ever met, ministered to, or had to deal with have ever recouped that money when they started taking money out of their retirement accounts. Mm-hmm. Sometimes if there's something critical, they have to make that move. There can be a plethora of reasons, but it should be the last reason. It should be absolutely dire straight before we actually do that, and never for a car. If I were in your situation, if the car, let's say it's paid off and it's worth $8,000, I would have bought a car for $8,000 and then put money away. Couple years from now, take that car, maybe it's only worth $5,000, that's fine. And you trade that in, put some cash with it and work your way up. But I definitely I would never cash out retirement or cash out part of a retirement for a car. It's the quickest depreciating item of anything that you can buy. And now listen, I love cars. Nobody loves cars more than me, but I do understand that principle. I'm glad you asked that question. You know why? It's Marvin. Mm-hmm. You know why, Marvin? because there's a lot of people out there that needed the same answer to it.
Yeah.
Now, what are we going to do now, Marvin? Nothing. We're going to seek God and say, what's the best step to go forward? And we keep moving, because here's what I've learned, Marvin, that a lot of times, man, a lot of financial wisdom that I have now and people hit me up on came from mistakes too. Mm-hmm. So I can't stay there. And I never would do that again. And you're young enough that you can recover from it.
Yes. Hello, everyone that's just joining us in the family room.
Yes.
It's Pastor John F. Ramsey Sr., First Lady Alicia Ramsey here on this Friday afternoon, and we're talking about finances. Pastor's new book came out, Money Before Marriage. It's available on Amazon.com.
Yes.
And right now we are getting ready to go through what not to do when you are in a financial problem. So you may want to jot some notes down. You want to take a mental note or come back and watch it. But right now he's going to go through some things of what not to do when going through financial problems. So you were just talking about number one.
Yeah, number one, do not, at all costs, do not cash out your retirement accounts.
Okay.
Because of financial challenges, unless it's the only avenue you have. And even then, not cash it out without having a plan in place to catch it up.
Good.
Okay.
Good. What's number two?
Number two is do everything you can to not borrow money from family members. I think that when you borrow money, when you're adults and you start borrowing money from family members, it changes the nature of the relationship.
It sure does.
We've had situations before where somebody wanted something that we weren't gonna keep, right? And maybe you wanted to buy it or whatever. And I've been in a situation before, and I'm trying to think of just how to kind of cloud this, but I've been in a situation, suffice it all to say this, I've been in a situation before where I gave it to him. You know why? Because I didn't think I'd ever get my money.
Yeah.
And then there have been other times where we haven't dealt with that a lot with our families and things like that, but there's a reason why. Because they know where our stand is.
They know now.
They don't roll up in here. There's a reason why the bank won't give you a loan. You ain't got no character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Denise Sanders has a question. Hey, Denise. It says, what about taking out a 401 for a down payment for homes, but your company allows you to pay yourself back? So taking it back out of, taking money out for a down payment on a home, but the company allows you to pay it back.
Again, I don't know what experts would tell you, but I wouldn't do it. To me, if I got to pull money out of that to buy the house, then I may not be prepared to buy the house, because what I try to encourage people to do is don't buy a house that you have not saved up enough to put 20% down as a down payment. If possible. Everybody can't do that. I get that. Mm-hmm. But you want to do that. And the reason why you want to do that is because when you got 20% down, you no longer will need private mortgage, PMI, mm-hmm. private mortgage insurance on the loan. And what it is that's a loan that you pay for, that the banks buy, that if you forfeit on the home, they take your home, resell it, and they get money from that insurance policy that you're paying in addition to that payment every single month. So personally, I would never do it for a house is a great investment. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I mean, I would rather have a little bit higher interest rate, and maybe I don't have the 20% down, but I got 10. Well, then let's go with 10 without pulling from that retirement.
Yeah. She said, okay, perfect. I trust guidance. Yeah, girl, because we done bought a lot of houses.
We bought a few houses. We know a little something about
we got some experience there when it comes to purchasing homes. Definitely. Okay, let me ask you this question. I hear your comments mm-hmm. popping up, but I don't see them. Do you keep hearing that? Like that? So I was just checking, just in case there's a question that comes up there that I don't want to miss it. But while you were doing that,
this is the reason why I got to get my stream deck set up. Because I don't have to be moving nothing. I can be bam,
yeah,
bam.
And yours looks good up there too. Yeah. Okay, so Kimberly Johnson.
I increased the fonts.
Okay, good. Thank you. That's great because I need that. Kimberly Johnson has a question. What are your thoughts of buying a new home, but your current home is I'm missing a part. Not okay, but your current home is not your forever home and is not paid off. So she's saying, what are your thoughts on moving if your home is not paid off?
I don't think your house needs to be paid off for you to move. Mm-hmm. Especially if it's not going to be your last stop. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and she said it's almost paid off. That's one that awesome. She's in.
I mean, if you're in that kind of predicament, see, that's the power. Because you've exercised that kind of discipline for so long, what do you have now? You got options.
You have options.
You can say, you know what? It may not be my dream home, but I can stay, pay it off in 5 years and make it that. Or now we got so much equity, we can make some moves without having to have a large loan and pay that off a little sooner. So no, you're in the driver's seat. You're in a good position.
And for us, both of our parents moved later in life.
Yeah.
Like we were all grown and out of the house by the time, you know, my mom and dad were finally able to get a bigger home.
Yeah.
The little house they started in and raised us in, they were in forever. They were in when I married you.
They were.
And your mom and dad were building, you know, a new home later in life. So don't feel like you're stuck.
Yeah, no. I think, you know, when you're in a position like you just described, man, you got options, and that's a blessing. So if it's not your dream home, the only thing I would say is, depending upon your age and where you are work-wise and salary-wise, is I would just be careful as to how much house I get. Yeah. So that, because the objective is not, can I purchase it, but can I purchase it comfortably? I also would say that I wouldn't buy a house without having a certain amount of down payment together and 3 months worth of emergency savings in an account. Most experts say that in order to avoid catastrophe, you need to have anywhere between 3 to 6 months worth of your salary in a savings account somewhere, so that if something hits, you got time to get yourself together and your family still be okay. So if you can do that while still having something back as well, I think you're in good shape.
Say that again so people can hear before I say this next question.
Well, basically, I was just saying
with savings.
With savings, you need to have 3 to 6 months worth of savings in order to be in a position that if something really serious happens to your family, you can respond to it. Like you lose your job, your wife loses the job, or let's say your wife gets pregnant and you guys are having a child, but you're having challenges like you, and she had to come home on bed rest. Okay, what are we going to do to compensate that?
And you know what we also did? We had that extra insurance policy. So it was a blessing, because who would have known that we put it, so we got that money after I was off for 3 months, because we had that extra policy that we did. Just doing those things to prepare.
The more you can put in position to safeguard your family, the better you're going to be.
So Romel out of Texas, good to see you. Rachel has a question. What are your thoughts about going back to school for a master's degree, but already being in debt from getting your bachelor's?
Don't do it.
So you do what he's going to say.
I mean, that's my, you know, and here's the thing. Again, y'all, my name is John Ramsey. It's not Dave Ramsey. This is not what I do for life, but it is my passion. Because the Lord told me years ago when I was in the storefront, before I even had a wife or a child, that you'll never be able to help people advance their life if you don't teach them about money. Now, you're always going to have the church haters out there. All they talk about, no, we don't talk about money. Because anybody that goes to our church knows that I spend more time talking about what you do with the 90 than I do you giving the 10 to God. And I'm never going to apologize for it, because that's scriptural as well.
Absolutely.
So, but and it's my challenge. Maybe it's not yours, but I hear so many people jump up and get motivated. I'm going back to school. But they got a truckload of debt that they haven't paid off. And, you know, we always refer to you right now. She's working on her doctorate. The doctorate is going to be an incredible accomplishment. But when she gets done, we'll be coming up with plans and strategies as to how we attack that. You know what I mean? So if I don't have a plan in place, when she got her master's, we did a class at a time. And while she was doing the class, we were saving up for the next one. Boom, she'd hit the next one. By the time you got the master's, you had no debt.
Right, definitely. That's what I was trying to think of. Thanks, Lauren. Short-term disability. So I did. We had that insurance.
That's
and
great.
That was very helpful for us. So we're going through steps on what to do when you're, you know, dealing with a financial crisis, or maybe a downsizing. You were furloughed. Maybe your salary was cut. What are you could do? So number one was never take out of or things not to do. Never take out of your retirement was one. Number two, if you can avoid it. Number two was do not allow family to borrow money.
That's huge.
And what's number three?
Don't think that a third job is your answer when you're not doing right by the second job. I mean, some people think, you know, well, man, I just go get me another, I can get 10 hours over here. I get 15 hours over here, then I got 40 for my job over there. You know what you're gonna get? You're gonna get dead. That's what you're gonna get because you can only take so much. and the reason why I put this point down here, don't think that a third job is the key to your success when you're not managing the money from the first job, because so many people do that. They go out, and during Christmas season, people pick up extra hours.
Those
Nothing wrong
holiday
with that.
jobs, right?
All those things are wonderful.
Right.
All those things are good things. But there are people that live in this position with 3, 4 jobs, 2 jobs. Well, I got 2. Well, I cut it down. I only got 2 now. But my thing is, if you got 2 jobs, but you have a family, and now you want to add another so many hours on, what's the condition of your family? What's the condition of your resources?
Right.
At some point, when I've done that for so long, you got to start asking yourself the question, why do I feel like I have to keep doing this?
Yes.
It's got to be a stewardship issue somewhere.
Yes. No, I agree. Okay. Rachel had a part 2 to her question. Oh, Rachel, I can't.
Can you see it?
Can you scroll it down? It went up a little bit.
It went up right here?
Yeah. Okay, there it is. It says, what about if the salary is significantly higher? So what she's saying, if she gets a master's degree from being an ABA therapist, she'll be a BCP.
No. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because here's the thing. What happens if you get that master's and 2 years later you have a health condition and you can't stay on that job?
Yeah, it happens.
What are you going to do? So, I've seen people make themselves lifetime students.
Yeah.
Never graduate anywhere. Never get any loans paid back. But and the system is set up now. You can't forfeit your way out of a loan. You can't file bankruptcy and get out of a loan. They had a story a few years back where a guy about 20 years after he was out of school got arrested.
For what?
Because he's still owed like $50,000. And he was old. So you got to get out of the mindset, and this is my opinion, you got to get out of the mindset, well, I'll just go back to school and I can get certified in this, I can get certified. How about get certified in handling your money?
Yes, that's definitely it. Jackie has a question. Is it okay for a mother, father to pay the life insurance for their grown children and grandchildren?
I'm trying to make sure I understand it. Are they paying it because the parents don't? They don't have it. The other ones don't have it, or is it something in addition to? Because here's my thing on life insurance.
Okay.
I don't think you could ever have too much life insurance.
No.
Not to
nowadays you need it.
Not to me. You can never have too much. We're still dealing with things and finishing up things, and how long we had a plan.
Yeah.
With my mom's transition.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think you can have. And I think it's kind of tragic if you have an adult child, and let's say they have a family, something happens to them. Now you got to take on that responsibility, and they left you nothing to do that with. Yes. It's a very difficult thing. So in my opinion, I'm going to be one of the last brothers to tell you to not have enough life insurance.
Right. So you can never have too much.
Yeah.
So we are now on 4.
Don't stop giving. These are the 5 things you don't do because you're in a money crisis. I think number 1 was you don't cash out your retirement account. Number 2, don't borrow money from your family and don't allow them to borrow from you. Number 3, don't go grab a third job when you're not managing the money from the first and the second job. Number 4 is don't stop giving. Giving really is why we're here. We're all created for a purpose. We're all created in a purpose, and God has a plan for our lives. And giving is what it's really all about. Think about it. One of the reasons why I want our family to, at some point, achieve a certain level of have wealth is because of what we want to do with it.
Definitely.
We want to do something making other people's lives better.
D. David says, I pay for my daughter's policy now just to make sure she has it in case she does not have that. I do that to be smart, secure, and have it. Lauren, who works in the insurance industry, says this, and please add beneficiaries, contingent beneficiaries to these life insurance policies.
That's great. Thank you so much for that. And I think that people heard that loud and clear because that's really important.
It is.
But I think you're going to have a tough time getting me to ever tell you got too much life insurance.
Definitely. Here's another question from Denise. It says, what would you recommend? College savings or children's stock?
Say that again.
Stock or college savings, like you know, if it's a grandparent wanting to save for their grandchildren or for their children, what do you do when it comes to saving for our children? Do you buy them stock, or did you do a savings
plan? I let other people do what they do. That do it so much better than I would. So I invest in a 529 account college fund.
Okay.
And then there's a group of investors within that institution that are assigned to make that money grow. What I like about it is that depending upon how you set it up, like with John, when we started his account, I told them to be aggressive early on.
Okay.
And what happens is the older he got and the closer he is to high school graduation, the more and more conservative they became with that plan. Yes. So you're getting the most bang for your buck. What I also like about the 529 account is that their websites are incredible. And some of you, you know, Christmas is coming up. Your kids are getting 900 toys. Well, how about send the link over to grandmother or Uncle Dave or whoever?
That's good.
And they can click on that link and put $50 into their college fund.
Yes.
That's going to help that child later on. Yes. Versus a toy they won't be able to find by the end of Christmas.
Yeah, so that's what Denise was asking for her grandchild. Yes, open up a 529 for your grandbaby.
You can't go wrong with those.
Because you did that when Johnny was born, and when he went to college, we were ready.
Yeah, we were ready. And you know what it made us? You know what it made us do?
What?
It made it so we can enjoy his college.
Yeah, because he don't go to a cheap school.
No, school's serious.
Yeah, but the blessing is he got scholarship too.
Yeah,
you know, which helped quite a bit.
So what happens is that because he got the scholarship, the school paid for half, but we pay for the other half. But let me just tell you how it works. Keep in mind, we started the week he was born.
And now he's 23.
He's 23. So what happens is when the semester comes around, he'll call his mother and say, Mom, that's how I call it, Mom, I got a bill. And then she says, well, how much is it, John? Well, it's going to be 15 grand.
At this time.
And she'll say, well, just send the link to your dad. He sends a link, and I go onto the website, and you can, now they got them so sophisticated that you can have them send it directly to the business office for that child, and then it's over.
Right. And then, but we got to the point where this last year, we're making them be more responsible. It's like, no, pay it with the credit card, and then dad will pay off the credit card from the account. Yeah. Just to get him. And also to get him to see, even though it's not his money, what it feels like to pay that,
to release that kind of money out of your hand.
Yeah, definitely.
When you got a million things going through your mind that you can do with it. So, that's wonderful for all you guys that are doing that. I think that's great.
Shelly has a question. Hey, Shelly, do you think it is wise to focus on being aggressive and paying off debt versus savings? So that's a good question there. Which one should you be aggressive at?
I think that's an incredible question. I think my answer is probably twofold. I personally think that you can do both. There are some that will say, okay, just attack the debt, attack the debt. I think that's important, and we do that sometimes.
Yes.
But also, I'm always going to have something going back in the kitty.
You do. You said that to us a couple weeks ago, that save something every paycheck.
Every paycheck. Because you know what it does? Even if you can't look in there and say, well, I've been saving from every paycheck and it's 3 months now and I only have $200 in there. But guess what that is? That's $200 more than what you would have had.
Right.
And the Bible said, despise not the day. We've talked about this. Despise not the day of small beginnings. When he uses the word despise has to do with resent. So you could put it this way, that if you resent where you are, you'll never leave.
That's good. Give yourself a hand clap.
I got to get a hand clap on that. I got to get my screen deck set up next week.
There's new comments that I can't see. So can you press on there, that arrow that says new comments?
Where we at? Here?
Down there. Down here? I can make sure that there's no new people where it says right there, new comments. Yeah. So we go down to see. Okay, there we go. Love has a question, Micaiah. How do you access the 529 account? So how do you start a 529?
You can go online and Google college 529 accounts. You live in Indiana, it's going to be an Indiana plan. And you can actually set one up online by yourself without going to a bank to even talk to someone now. Because they're back in our day, you know, I went there and said, hey, I got $50, I need a 529.
Right. Well, how do they make sure it's not a scam and that it's legit?
I would make sure it's legit by going through my banking institution. If you bank at a credit union, I would get my 529 through them. Because you can always research it and switch it to someone else later on. but all of them basically do the same thing. And I've yet to ever hear about somebody's 529 account crashing or causing some big problem, because the objective of all of it is to make it grow, and the bank can't get paid if they're not making your account grow.
Absolutely. Rondre says, shout out to zero balances. Yes, God, that is pastor. You're a little better, because man, it would be $50 get on the charge card. He paid it off. He would check it every day. Every day you would check the account balances, you would check the credit card balance every day. But you've gotten better at that, so I'm proud of you.
Now I pay it off every other day.
Oh, Jesus. Here's a question from Marvin. Marvin's on a roll. He says this: love you too,
Marvin, you owe me a love offer.
It says this: what if you're forced to get your life insurance on your grown children when they won't do it themselves? Too many families have to beg, borrow. So what he's saying, they won't do it, so that's why they're doing it. Is that right?
Absolutely right. Man, that's one of the smartest things you can do, because here's the thing. I'm not saying this about your child, but let's say somebody's child is irresponsible.
Yes.
And they don't do the things that they have to do. Well, it's wisdom for me to get $100,000 policy or whatever it is on my child that's choosing to not do right. Well, something happens to them. Guess what? As bad as it's going to hurt, I can get them in the ground. And guess what? I might have enough left over for their kid to go through college, or to help the mother along the way, or whoever's going to be raising that child.
Yeah. I'll give you this personal example. My grandfather died when I was 19. My grandmother had never worked, but he did so well that he left her set. My grandmother died 2016, and she's 92. Well, she has a son, my uncle, who was strung out on drugs when he was younger. So he always struggled with addiction all throughout his life. Well, my grandparents had a policy on him, and they would get his monthly check when he got on disability and distribute him an allowance. But before my grandfather passed, everything was paid for. His whole funeral was paid for, everything. So my uncle was still alive, but everything was done for him. So even when my grandmother passed, the siblings knew that everything was set for him because they had the policy for him. So when he died last year, everything was already done.
Yeah.
And they did that to be, their age, but that's the way they thought. So, marrying pastor, I think that's some correlation for me too. I see a lot of those qualities that my grandfather had, and my grandmother, they planned and prepared. My grandmother had her whole funeral already planned and prepared.
I mean, they were way ahead of
their time.
Everything
was purchased.
But it left an incredible example.
Yes.
Because
definitely.
You want to talk about pain when you already have the pain of them being gone, and you're trying to scramble.
Yes.
We'll have people call the church. My mother died, and we need some money to bury him. And I don't know a church in the world most churches are trying to just get their budgets to work. I don't know a church in the world that has a budget to bury people when they pass. That's the family's responsibility. So if you see that somebody doesn't have that, I think it's great wisdom on your part to put that in place.
Definitely. Miranda has a question. Is it better to open a separate savings account even if your current account has a savings attached to it?
Help me understand that again.
Sometimes they tell you don't have your saving attached because it's easy to move money. Sometimes they tell you have them in different banks or have them, not attached to each other.
I think it depends on the discipline of the individual.
Okay.
We've never had to go outside of that unless we really wanted to. But I think you don't have the discipline. But nowadays, here's the thing. If it's a challenge for you to keep the money in the savings account, if you have them both in the same institution, my first answer to that would be yes. Okay, do it in a different institution. But now technology is so good that you can connect an external link from a different bank to your account at the place that you bank at right now and still be able to get to that money. Good. So at the end of the day, it's going to be a discipline issue. There's so much technology.
It is a big discipline issue. A shout out to Terry, who's tuning in from Vancouver, Washington.
Awesome.
That's isn't it?
What's up, Terry?
They got Black people out there.
Where you at?
Her, babe.
Where she's at?
Terry Elaine, right there.
Let me give her some love real quick.
Look at him. Look, Terry.
Go ahead with your bad stuff. I ain't mad.
He's so excited
to be able
to use his technology.
My stream deck next week gonna be off the chain.
All right.
I'm just telling you.
I appreciate you. Shania has a comment. She says, Fidelity is an option for a 529 plan if you don't go through your bank.
Okay, good.
Which is good to say there. Here's it is so much easier. Sister Dee Dee says, my mother had her funeral planned and paid for and had no debt. It is so much easier.
It is
to deal with that process when you're not doing a GoFundMe or having to talk to different family members about contributing to burying.
And the thing about it is that when you have to go do the GoFundMe and those types of things, think about the pressure that you're putting on other people.
Yeah.
For something that doesn't have anything to do with them,
right.
If you really look at it.
Right.
And it's all because someone didn't have a plan in place. Doesn't mean that person was a bad person.
Right.
But it just means that, we got to have a plan. Even if you don't have life insurance, but you get a package and you pay on it until it's paid up and something happens to a person. You just have to do something because think about it. If you got people in America, we gave that earlier today, that about 78% of people in the United States are living from paycheck to paycheck. And these are people that make $50,000 or more a year.
Yes.
If that's the status of where a lot of people are, then what are the chances that a lot of people are going to really have the life insurance in place that they need? Right. So you have to have that plan in place.
Because what do you tell us? Everybody going to die.
Everybody dying.
Dog going to die. The plant's going to die.
My mother one time, she said, John, I don't really want to have that conversation. I said, well, Mom, you're up here with me. We're doing our best to make it so that you can be comfortable. And I said, but at the end of the day, Mom, you're going to die. So you're going to die, the dog, the roaches, rats, everybody. I said, I'm going out, everybody going out. And I was trying to be humorous with it because she knows how I joke around a lot.
Right.
To get her to grab a hold of that point. And then, she sat down and she did that. She said, well, John, I don't have any money. I said, Mom, sometimes it's not about having money.
Right.
It's about having a plan. Because somebody, which is most likely going to have to be me, somebody's going to have to implement that plan to at least be able to tell other people this is what you want.
Absolutely. Shout out to Dwayne, Dallas, Texas.
What's up, Dwayne?
Wow, our time has flown by today.
Oh, God,
in the family. My name is First Lady Alicia Ramsey, Pastor Jonathan Ramsey C. You're here in Indianapolis, Indiana, New Life Worship Center, local church with a global vision. And we have been blessed to be able to talk to you from JR Ministries, Faith, Family, and Finances.
Yeah.
Today's topic, wow, you guys just really interacted on this. Yes. My kid said not the roaches. Pastor Ramsey's forever putting a roach in the illustration. But thank you so much. And we want you to make sure that you go to Amazon.com and order his book, $20, Money Before Marriage. There are some excellent principles in there. If you're married, if you're single, divorced, that you would get it for your children. A lot of people have been getting it for their adult children because it's an easy read and there's some great fundamental principles in it that you can use to better your future.
Absolutely. So thank y'all so much. Let me give you the last one, though, since we're this close.
Sure, go ahead.
Real simple, nothing deep at all. Number 5 that you do when you're in trouble is stop trying.
Good.
You can't afford to quit. You can't afford to give up.
Keep trying.
No matter what it is, you have to keep trying.
Trying.
And use wisdom to make sure that when you're trying the right things.
Right. And it can be just something simple, cut out going to Starbucks, cut out eating pizza night. You can start real simple on ways to put money aside. And then it starts to make you feel good to say, wow, just in a time I saved the extra $100.
Yeah.
Then it'll be $500. Then it'll look up, it'll be $1,000. But start somewhere. It's very important.
the tire goes out on a car and you don't have to start fast and you just go get a tire.
Right.
I mean, that's where you want to. And so God help us get there. He'll help all of us get there with these principles. Hope that they're blessing you. I'm going to put a link in the thread as soon as we go off. And that is a link where you can support what we're doing. And I hope that you believe in us as much as we believe in you. We don't come on because we don't have anything to do.
I know that's
we really don't. So when we come on with a purpose. And we come on to sow something into your life that's significant. So what I'm praying is that when we get done and I put that link in the thread, that you'll sow something into what we're doing to help us to keep doing it and make it even better next time we meet. Don't forget to go to YouTube and put your comments in there.
Yeah. Judah. Your break is over. It ended at 12:45. Okay, all right. I just saw. I'm sorry. I didn't want to yell
she
on
all
the.
up in the program.
I'm sorry, but I was looking like I didn't see her in her spot for her e-learning. I'm sorry, but no, just e-learning. I'm so sorry because I didn't want to just get up and walk off. So okay, I'm back.
He's messing up my clothes here, but
I'm back. I'm sorry.
joking.
Go back. Woo, rewind.
But anyways, go to YouTube. Please subscribe to the tube, and then in addition to that, put some comments. If there's some things that you would like to hear us cover, we want to do that because here's where I'm at. The season that everybody's in right now, when we come to you all, it's about meeting whatever the need is.
Yes. Yes.
That's the subject we want to deal with. That's the subject we want to touch base on. So go to the YouTube page today, subscribe to it, leave any comments down there. There's some areas that you want to cover, and then support it. When I put this in the link in just a few minutes, support it as well, and we greatly appreciate that.
All right, and don't forget, if you purchase the book and read the book, go back on Amazon.com and write a review about the book. We really appreciate that.
Yes.
Also, we want you to know that if you're in the Indianapolis, Indiana area and you have a need or you have a family member with a need, our food pantry will be open tomorrow from 10 to 12 at our central location. It's right across the Crown Hill Cemetery entrance. We'll be open twice this month. So the second Saturday and the third Saturday of December, we will be open.
Yeah. Gatorade, everybody.
Yeah. See, look, the mamas is on there. They know I don't play with that e-learning. It's been a struggle.
Oh yeah. No, I feel for everybody. And I really think it's a place where, people are pretty taxed right now.
We are exhausted. Like
so y'all don't choke your kids. Don't go to jail over this. We all gonna get through it. But yes, we feel your pain because it's a very, very real challenge.
It is. Everything is a challenge. Jeremiah was up at 4:00 this morning.
Oh my God.
And then he said eat. It's 4:00
because he didn't eat that food. He didn't finish eating that food. He came down
and I heard him walking because I hear him and I got up and he's like, "Mom, eat." And I was like, "Oh, don't you want to lay down?"
So I woke up around 5 because I felt something on me, and I look over at Jeremiah in the pitch black room. Jay looking at me and said, "Eat." So I'll come down here. I'm cooking him food.
We did. It was a journey.
You should have been eating last night.
It was definitely a journey. But what we are telling you, as Pastor was saying, is that we do take time out of our life to be able to share the gospel, to be able to pay it forward. And these are practical principles that you can implement in your daily life because we're a married couple. We love each other with 3 children, and we do our best according to the word of God. Yeah. So just like we were learning these things, you're able to learn these things as well. You want to come over and say hi? We're almost finished. Like we're trying to.
You ready to pray? You ready to wrap it up?
We got a whole.
There she is. She is our official spokesperson.
Yes. All right, Daddy's ready to pray.
Let's pray. Father, in Jesus' name, we love and adore you. We thank you for those that have taken time out of their day at the end of the week on a Friday at 12 noon to be a part of this discussion. God, we thank you and pray that they'll stay connected to us and that we'll be able to provide information from your word and from wisdom that empower their lives. So bless them as we go forth and all believe you for great things. Touch the mothers, the fathers, and help everybody manage the load of this season until you bring us out of it. Amen. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
And amen.
Thank you for joining us today. We will see you New Life. And those of you that can stream, we stream live at 9 a.m. and 12 noon every Sunday. And we look forward to coming back to the family room.
Awesome. We love you. Stay blessed. We'll see you soon.
God bless you all.